Hi everybody, Coach Allison back with Defy Aging. We're now in week 29. So I hope everyone's getting used to and enjoying the new warm-up and cool down as well. Okay, this week we are still doing stations, but they're run a little bit differently than usual. We have 5 stations. However, at each station, there is actually 2 exercises. So even though there's only 5 stations, we're going to be doing 10 movements this week, 10 different exercises. What this will look like is the working set is 60 seconds. Excuse me. And within that 60 seconds, when we get to the 40-second mark, we're going to switch from exercise 1 to exercise 2 for that remaining 20 seconds to make up the full minute. So 40 seconds of exercise 1, 20 seconds of exercise 2, boom, that's your minute. And we do have a 40-second recovery / rest / transition. So we still have the 40 seconds to move on to the next station, kind of like our typical rotation. Here's the trick though, between the exercise 1 and exercise 2, it's no rest. So, it's 3, 2, 1, exercise 2, boom. So the only rest is really like putting down or switching tools or maybe, switching space. It's very quick. So it's not a break. It's not take a rest and then start exercise 2. No, it's 3, 2, 1, go at exercise 2. All within the same 60 seconds. So the key is we're trying not to lose any time within that 60 seconds. So hope that makes sense. And quick other little information I'll share. Exercise 1 within each superset is all of exercise. The exercises that are the first one is going to be a strength or a balance move. The second exercise will be cardio. So within each of the 5 stations, within each of those supersets, exercise 1 is strength or balance. Exercise 2 is cardio. All right, I'll keep it there. Let's get to some demonstrations. Okay, station 1. The superset is going to be a sumo squat, kettlebell sumo squat. Second exercise is a skater, which we haven't done in a very, very long time, so it might be new for many of our participants. Okay, so the first exercise, the sumo squat, is wide stance, toes angled slightly outward, so the toes aren't pointing perfectly forward. We're going to grab a kettlebell to hang down in the center, and we do these squats with wide knees. So you are going to get quite a good stretch in here. These are great for our hamstrings and our glutes back here. You can have a little bit of natural forward lean when you do these, but make sure it's not excessive because that turns it into a deadlift, and we want it to be a squat, a knee bend. So that is your sumo squat. At the 40-second mark, we put that down and we go into skaters. This is what a skater looks like. So one leg goes behind, that same side arm reaches down to the floor. I was getting very low. I was touching my fingertips to the floor. That's the hardest way to do it. You can keep it higher, as high as you need, and really make this one fit where you're at. However, what we don't want to do is bop up and down. I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're not going down all the way up, down all the way up. This is going to get you dizzy. It might get you lightheaded. It's too much head, like all the way down, all the way up too fast. So instead, you kind of stay low, bring that one leg behind, and as you notice now, I'm not touching the floor. I'm reaching about halfway down. My left leg goes behind, my left arm reaches down, right leg goes behind, right arm reaches down. It should flow very well because once you get the tempo and the speed going, it all just moves together very well. So that is a cardio move. You'll also feel some lower back and glutes on that. So that is how as being the first station demo, that's kind of an extra. I'll explain really quickly one more time. Sumo squat for 40 seconds, skater for 20 seconds. That makes up your 60-second set. Our station 2 is going to be a TRX. That's this thing, wide row, to jumping jacks. So exercise 1 is the wide row. So wide row, we're going to be doing palms down. So you could say that's an overhand grip, and we're flaring the elbows out as we do our row and pull in. Okay, so the lower you step, the harder this becomes because you're working against gravity a little more. The higher you step, this is going to make it a little bit lighter. One note with the TRX, make sure you don't come up so far that you are letting slack. See now how I have slack on the TRX? You don't want to go that far. I'm going to stop it while there's still full tension. That's very important to keep the muscles and the movement very controlled and contracted. Elbows out. Okay, so then we drop that at the 40-second mark, and we go into jumping jacks for 20 seconds. And we can, of course, do a step jack for an alternative if we're leaving out any jumping. All right, so that is station 2. wide row, and jumping jacks. Station 3 is a contralateral single leg balance to a medicine ball slam. So we're going to grab a kettlebell with one arm and we're going to balance on the opposite leg. There we go. Halfway through the set, we'll change sides. So this station will kind of have three things that we're switching. We're switching the leg and the kettlebell halfway through the first 40 seconds. So you have 20 seconds one side, 20 seconds the other side, 20 seconds with exercise too. But when you're balancing, if you're able, try to get that knee up to 90 degrees. So we're trying to avoid kind of down here. We also want to avoid pressing the leg into the other one. Okay, that's kind of cheating. We want that leg to be completely independent. And we can absolutely use something for a little balance assistance. However, I don't recommend holding something with like 100% full grip, because then that doesn't improve your balance. You're holding on. So, a fingertip can be a nice little mental trick to feel like you still have some support, but you're still doing most of the balance on your own. So again, holding the weight in one side, balancing on the opposite leg, 20 seconds through, we switch. All right. And then at the 40-second mark, put that down, grab your slam ball. So have it nearby. And we're doing regular medicine ball slams. Okay. All right. So make sure you have the ball nearby and ready to grab so we don't lose too much time between those two things. All right. That's station 3. All right. Station 4 is the first exercise, a kneeling kettlebell halo. So we're going to do a tall kneeling position. So we're on both knees. Kettlebell halo, bottom up for the kettlebell holding position. And we go around the head, end back where you started, and then switch directions. So we'll alternate direction each time. This kneeling position, what this is doing is to making us have to stabilize a lot more, because when this kettlebell is in front of me, it's kind of wanting to pull me forward. When the kettlebell is back here, it's kind of wanting to pull me back. So you have to use those core muscles to stay very stable. Yes, the same thing would happen if you were standing, but it's harder when we're on the knees. So it does take more engagement here. Keep the kettlebell low and tight. So low to the shoulders and low to the shoulders and chest, and tight into the head. So let it come back here, close to your chest at the start. When you're back behind you, let it drop as far low as you can and keep it close to your head. So what I mean by that is we're not like way up here doing big circles way overhead. The second exercise is the mountain climber. So at the 40-second mark, put that down, and we have mountain climber. So we might need to take a moment to switch to an alternate method of mountain climbers, because we can do incline as well. So have something nearby if you're going to use the incline option. And there's also a couple different ways in which you can do these mountain climbers. I did it with the running legs. You can do it more of a hop like this. I actually think that's harder. That's my opinion. And we can even do it with a step in, taking out the speed altogether. So we have all three of those options, and you can do all three of those options on the floor too. So this mountain climbers are great because we can make them work for everybody. So anyways, that station has the kneeling kettlebell halo to the mountain climbers. Okay, final station is going to be a band step to a bicep curl. So there's two things happening within that one thing. And we're going to go to a hop that uses the band as well. So I'll show you that. All right, we have the band with handles. We're going to step on the center of it. Make sure the band is under the arch of your shoes, or at least the center of your foot. A little bit of tension here, okay, just so it's not like slack and loose. Step, curl, step, curl. All right, so we're just going to go one direction, one curl, other direction, one curl. It's very important that you're pressing and into the band and stretching it. Make sure you're not letting your foot slide on it, because then look what happens if you do that. So make sure that you're really keeping your foot and ankle firm and pressing into it. You're stretching the space between the feet. That'll make it so that these bands don't get off center. Again, if you let your foot slide on it, now you step together and this is what happens. So keep that in mind. At the 40-second mark, you're going to lay this down, and we're going to jump side to side over the band. Okay? Don't worry about speed. I went kind of fast. You can do one at a time, kind of wind up with your arms. If you need that momentum, totally fine. Just similar to the box jumps last week, I really encourage everyone to try the jumps, even if it's just something you don't like. Jumping, again, I explained all those benefits last week, has a lot of benefits. And we don't want to say no to doing it just because we don't like it, because there's a lot of things we don't like in life and we have to do them in order to improve. So I encourage everyone to do the jumps if you are physically able. If we are unable to do jumps, we're going to turn into a fast step touch over the band. I still want you to use the band because it makes you have to ensure that you're lifting your leg, which is very important also. Otherwise, if we don't lift the leg, we run into the band and we pull it. So you're still having to lift and get that agility component. So that is the final station, band step curls to the band hopovers. All right, and for the team builder this week, I'm going to let the team builder be coach's choice. This routine may take longer than standard, just for the demo aspect of it, the demonstration, and running it. Anyway, it might run a little long, so I'm going to let the coaches determine an appropriate team builder, something they think will accommodate or fit the time they have available left in your session. So coach's choice, we'll see what they come up with, but team builder will be individual for each club. Okay, and that wraps up week 29. So I know it's a biggie with these supersets. It'll be a little bit hectic, but I think it'll be fun, something different. Next week in week 30 is another, we always, in the 10s, the 10, 20, 30 weeks, we do mobility. So be on the lookout for mobility week coming up in week 30. See you then.